Welcome to SKUMCAST.
I was actually thinking about ghosting you.
Oh, goddamn.
I'm just kidding. No, no, I'm actually surprised you hit us up with just randomly. Just
well, I love doing this, man. I love being on the other side. Because like I said, when I do AZ Local Show, it's always like an ABC. I always, 1, 2, 3. I always have this like kind of built-in thing. So I always love going on other people's things and talking shit about it.
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for you can talk shit all you want. Like I was actually mentioning to them, like I mentioned you as being as our guest at some point. I didn't think it would be like this soon, but I was like, all right, cool.
Sick.
Honestly, thank you for being here. Like, we really do appreciate it.
Let's give a round of applause for Aaron.
Oh!
All of you guys at home, give a round of applause. There you go. Great content, guys.
I appreciate it. Well, because it's funny because AZ Local Show is really small, but I feel like I've done enough where people are like, hey, take it out. I think that was really cool is I did the asking people at shows, and that's really what was the thing that stuck me out. People were like, I want to look for that show, and that was the spider web, So
yeah,
it was easy.
Yeah, no, that show that pretty much is like, well, I mean, obviously it's not great now because of COVID and stuff, but like before, like that was how you were doing things, and that was awesome that you were able to like help with the marketing and help getting these people out there and stuff. So
yeah, you know what's funny, dude? I always it's not really a joke, but it's kind of funny, but I think it's really easy. People love talking about themselves. Let's be real. It's really easy to have a conversation about what an individual personally is doing, such as the bands or an artist or someone creative or people that are going to shows and asking them a question about their personal lives. That's the most knowledge someone's going to ever have is about themselves. So it's really easy to get people to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
Always is.
Yeah. Absolutely. I also just like learning about other people though as well. It's super fun.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's perfect. They like doing that, and I like hearing how people react to things and how people say things because it gives me an adrenaline rush. I love it.
Yeah. I love it. Exactly.
It's like my cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Besides actual cocaine, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Like, I don't know,
I like snorting people up. I just go up to people and sniff them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, people very much perplex me. I don't know. I feel like I don't understand them.
Well, that's why you ask them questions. Like,
that is true.
How big's your dick? How big's your pussy? Like,
see that. So many things wrong with that statement, but I see.
How big's your dick in pussy? You don't know?
Okay, a little bit. Right.
Wouldn't you want to know? You would learn, right?
That is very true. Eddie, what were you saying?
Eddie's
I didn't even say nothing.
Oh, my bad.
But Jacob, no, that's really cool because you can't be afraid of people because it's an old saying, but you can't read a book by its cover. But most people, you'll see one, especially at metal shows, you'll see someone that looks crazy or scary to most people, but they're a fucking sweetheart and they want to fucking talk to you left and right. They want to tell you about what their day was, and like that's what I loved about shows is you can go up to random people and they're most likely willing to talk to you, especially at concerts because you already have something in common with whatever the music is and whatever going on there.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what actually gave me experience with that, like if I have to take one good thing from it, was when I was a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So when I was a Jehovah's Witness,
clear the next 30 minutes. There's our next topic.
I would, you go door to door and like you go to those churches and stuff, and you talk to everyone, and you learn how to talk to people, and you meet really interesting people. Really weirdo, like many weirdos at the door and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so that kind of helped me like get my foot out the door with like talking to people, but then I figured out that's not how I want to talk to people. Right. I don't want to talk to them about religion, but that's where my social kind of experience kind of helped get from there. And then like from there, from high school, I just would start talking about, you know, porn and all that shit. And then you just stem from there, just put 2 and 2 together. I became an extrovert piece of shit. So
so you're not Jehovah's Witness anymore?
I think you can answer that right now for yourself from how I've been acting.
Just with this podcast alone.
I wouldn't be here.
No, that's cool, man. You know what's funny? I once, because I always hate people that are like, you know, really negative on religion and like, you know, like bash people. When I had a house early on, that party house, and I had Jehovah's Witness, I invite them in, you know, I gave them water, had a conversation with them, but I was really like, you know, adamant, like, you know, I'm going to kill them with science, you know, and facts. And after a while, it got to that point with these 2 old ladies. They're like, well, it seems like you're set in your ways. We're going to go ahead and stop that. Which was totally fine. And that I hate people that are like, you know, close the doors to it, because it's like you're never going to change people's minds with fucking, like, just closing the doors on them.
Right.
You know? You have to, like, really hit them with, like, you know, the earth is pretty fucking old.
Yeah.
The earth isn't 7,000 years old.
Yeah, there's literally no fucking way.
I mean, now I categorize myself as agnostic because I'm not sure, and just like the rest of the world.
Exactly, and that's like, how I feel about it too.
And I love hearing everyone's theories, like people that come to me and tell me about things. I love hearing about it because, you know, they could be right, they could be wrong. Who knows?
I'm the same way. I never try and put my stamp on anything. It's like who knows, man? Like we could always be surprised. You know, it's like you guys know the band The Deer Hunter.
I do not.
No.
Well, there's a great band like that, and they have a lyric in the band, we only know what we're told. And that's like, I've always lived my life like, we only know what we're told, and that's exactly what it is. We don't know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Because no one's actually, like, died for, like, more than, an hour. Not even, like,
and it's all interpretation, you know. You can only gather what everyone's saying. You know?
Yeah, and you can't just come back to life and be like, "Whoa, guys, that was fucking crazy! Like, you should have seen God, and he was like chugging beer and shit. That was crazy."
You know what I always like asking people about? What do you think deja vu is?
What is it?
Buddy,
what is
isn't
deja vu?
Isn't that the thing where you just like experience the same thing again?
I feel.
What do you think that is?
You really want to fall into this hole with me?
Oh, he's gonna bring some superstition.
No, I mean, I think that's what he's asking for. I think that's what he's asking for. I'm
gonna leave out my interpretation until I hear you guys.
I believe the ghosts from the underworld.
I think there are different dimensions, like parallel universes, and I think that's what deja vu is. It's like in a past life, in a different universe, you've already lived this. But you're feeling it now in this universe. But in your brain is processing it as something that already happened. Because in a different universe, it probably did. Yeah. And that's what I've always thought it was.
That's cool. No, I can dig that. I can dig that. What do you guys think?
Like I said, I just thought it was like that thing that happens and you're just like, whoa, that was deja vu.
Yeah, but how do you explain that?
Just the same, like, let's say, okay, I walked by, you know, you're walking down the street.
No,
like let's say you're just walking down the street, this street that you always walk down, and all of a sudden this old lady walks by in a green shirt, and then as you go on through your day, you come back from work, and then all of a sudden, like, you decide to go on another walk, and all of a sudden she comes down that same way again in the same green shirt, and you're just like, whoa, that was deja vu. I thought I just saw that girl.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
That's what I thought it was, and you were just...
That is the experience, and that is the experience of deja vu. But and I kind of agree with what you're saying. What I think deja vu is...
Do you think there's a whole nother meaning to it?
No, it's very simple, and I'll get to something that I think it's fun to talk about with what you're talking about with parallel universes. But with deja vu, I think it's just simply the brain is constantly thinking about branches of how an outcomes can happen, like where this conversation's going to go right now. Maybe I'm going to run down the stairs for no reason at all. Maybe I'm going to go take a shit in my pants for some reason. You know,
I like how you pointed towards the bathroom, but you said I'm going to take a shit in my pants.
Yeah, just go in there, just take a shit. But sometimes the brain is right, and that's what deja vu is. But what I wanted to get to real quick,
that's what we call a near miss.
yeah, simple answer for deja vu is that the brain is constantly thinking of outcomes, and sometimes it's right, and that's what I think deja vu is. Not that I'm correct, but I just simply think that's what it is. But to talk about parallel universes, I think that's what ghosts are explained as. Mm-hmm. Sometimes parallel universes cross, and that's when you see your grandma standing in her house still, or some soldiers standing out in the field, because in some parallel universe they still exist. So that's the explanation for ghosts in my head.
So what are they, just like echoes of the parallel? Sorry, go on.
I think what he's saying, if I'm not wrong, but it's like in this life, in this universe, this person passed away, but in that universe, they're still alive. So there's like a rift in the universes, and it's kind of blending.
Yeah.
Because here they're trying to pass over to the afterlife, but they're still alive.
Yeah, if some sort of parallel universe is crossing, and that's when like you go to some old prison that's closed, and you'll see some old dead prisoner that you think is dead, that should be dead, but in another universe they're actually still there living, in that prison or whatever it be.
So you believe in the paranormals, is what?
Yeah, in a sense,
to a degree.
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay.
I don't believe in a certain afterlife, I suppose. I do believe in parallel universes and the idea of multiverses for sure.
Okay. Have you had any experiences with like seeing anything?
It's cool. I had a really great shroom trip.
Well, without drugs, have you experienced anything? Because I'm pretty sure you'll see a lot of shit on shrooms.
Yeah, well, it was a great trip, and I just want to. It's worth mentioning because I remember seeing like just really crazy like mathematical. It's kind of crazy to talk about, but like mathematical like diagrams in like the sky, and it was like seeing, when you see an XY and an X pair or diagram.
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
In math, when you see you have a diagram and you have your x-axis and your y-axis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw something like that, and then it like with a skewed.
See, that's what I saw while I was jerking off the
bunch of
porn
shapes,
with hot dogs.
Bunch of shapes. But what my point is that was such a high trip that I've heard multiple people on DMT say that they've reached a world that was like that. That was just a bunch of mathematical shapes and a bunch of crazy fucking like alien dimensional beings. Which is
and I know the reason why he brought that up is because I'm super paranormal. Like I'm super into that stuff. Like I love going to trips and like visiting places that have a history like that. Like I went to Jerome with my girlfriend, and we did like a ghost tour about it. And he doesn't believe in it. I'm open to hearing this stuff. Yeah. But he's never experienced anything, so that's why he likes asking.
I'm not scared about it. Like most people, if they hear a noise, I would go check it out right away. If I were to be at home alone and I heard a door closed, I'd fucking check it out right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't dismiss it as like a ghost. Like, oh shit, there's a ghost here.
You wouldn't do what every horror movie does.
Exactly. I would check it out right away, and I wouldn't dismiss it as something spooky, I suppose, unless I saw it happening.
See, I told him when we go to Jerome, just have me stay in a room by myself. And
I'd be nervous as shit,
That's what I told him. I said, boy.
Well, with a mind like myself, like I even, I'll be admitted, like I'll get scared in the dark, because my mind starts racing. I'll start seeing shadows in my head, and I was like, something's gonna get me, but at the same time there's a level of like I don't believe in that shit, why am I thinking like that, I guess.
Yeah,
agreed. And so like
that's how I felt being duct taped to you. I was like, am I gonna come out of this alive?
But then you're just like, oh, it's just Thomas and Corey.
That's still scary.
What? No, I don't like. Okay, so like I'm personally open to the paranormal. I have never had an experience, so I can't say, and I really have no yay or nay say in this whole argument, basically.
Yeah.
So it's just like I can't say anything about it. So
Yeah.
like unless I personally experienced it myself, I can't say anything.
Yeah.
And I did the good old Ouija board at the graveyard, and like.
Oh really?
I didn't see shit.
Nice.
Some people say now I'm cursed because I did that, because I was even calling upon Zozo, which you're not supposed to call upon or whatever. And like,
You probably did it wrong, you fuck.
I don't know. And then Austin just kept calling me the Antichrist because I'm not experiencing anything and nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's too, with how vast, when you think about the universe and time, it's too simple when you think about, names of evil people, or God. Shit like that.
Maybe I should have just called upon Hitler.
yeah.
That's
someone that made some real change, I would say.
Probably made more change than Zozo. So
no, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Jews.
Make Germany great again.
I'm sorry, all Jews.
I'm sorry, all Jews.
I'm also part Jew, and I'm not offended.
Before we get too away from it, let's stay on paranormal stuff. What do we think about aliens?
I honestly, okay.
Oh boy, you just opened.
Yeah,
I love aliens.
Should we go into a part 3 for this?
For so long.
At this point, brother,
So-
we're at a part 4.
Honestly,
Are we really?
thinking
We're
about
in
it,
part 3.
I've told him this. I've told Bishop this, and
Oh, boy.
I'm not sure if I talked to
you
Corey
folks at
about
home.
this, but I for sure told Bishop, and he said it was an interesting thing to think about. But I think you have to look at it logically. So people say to go against it, they're like, well, logically it doesn't make sense, or scientifically it doesn't make sense. But I'm like, no, think of it the opposite way. Logically, it does make sense. How is it that Earth is one planet in our galaxy with many other planets, but outside of our galaxy, there's many galaxies.
Yeah.
We don't even know what's out there.
Oh yeah.
So how does it logically make sense that Earth is the special one that only has life form?
Well,
it doesn't make sense. So logically, there's got to be life form on other planets.
Exactly.
There has to be.
You know what I always think about? It's not only to consider like the size, because universe keeps going and going. It could go into multiverses, just unfathomable. How far it goes, but not only considering that, but time. We don't even know how much time there is. There could be our time, but there could be millions and billions of years for some other civilization.
Ooh, so what? So may I ask, what is your view on time? May I ask? Do you have like an eternalist view? Do you have
I don't know, man. Well, like we were saying, I don't really try and put a stamp on anything. Your mind can go on for days.
Well,
but
no, but like not a stamp on anything may not, but like it's what is it? It like for example, the eternalist view, as I said, is that everything is already predetermined and that we're just going through it, or is it like, everything's just kind of falling into place as we go and it just keeps going?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, not to interrupt you, but I do go back and forth on that. Like if you're talking about fate, right?
No, I'm talking about time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about stuff being mapped out and like
No,
following
okay. So it was funny. I was what? So those like lore videos I keep watching, right? So
Yes.
there's a third view, and I can't remember can't remember exactly what it is. There's one whereas it's called the eternalist view. It's where everything's already predetermined, and that we're just basically a playback. Basically, everything's already determined from down to the fucking hair of everything, right? But we're just running through that playback. Then there's also the growing block view, whereas where the future is not determined, but we're just basically filling it in as time goes on. And unfortunately, I can't remember the third one. But basically, it was somewhere in between those two. So what is your view of time, may I ask?
Mine is I show up 5 minutes late to work all the time. That's my view. That's my view on time.
Yeah, I know that.
I think it's chaos. It's just happening.
So growing block then.
Yeah, it's just happening as it goes, and it's filling in place. But it's a dance, you know. In my head, it is a dance, you know, because everything is a give and take. You know, Alan Watts talks about it with like the ocean. You know, we're all part of this ocean that affects each other. You know, the smallest little effect on this wave affects another wave on the other side of the ocean. We're all a part of that, and that's
Wouldn't
really
that
what's
be
happening.
basically the butterfly effect, though?
Exactly. You know, like you were saying, you're inspired by Easy Local Show, and I was inspired by other things going on. We've met before.
Right.
We're all connected in some sort of fucking way, and at the same time, we all affect each other in some sort of way. So I think that's really cool.
And then here we are now.
And here we
Indeed.
are now.
Just all collected together.
Ocean Waves, do you want to join us?
While we're on this topic of like some like superstition stuff,
Oh shit.
there's this one thing I was thinking about the other day that it's just crazy to think about. You as a person, you look at your life and you go through your daily routine, right? You do whatever you do in your day. Then you're driving outside, and you see other people driving by, and you think, I wonder what this person is going to. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you're on the way to, you know, get some food, and then this person that you drive past, maybe they're in, like, some crisis, you know? Maybe a loved one is in the hospital or something. And it's like, I'm just going to get food right now.
No,
Like,
That's kind of more of like your wife's dying, but look at me, I'm going to get Jack in the Box.
But it's
I
just
know what you-
crazy.
Hey,
to
don't
think
bring the
about, you know?
neighbors into this.
It's just crazy.
I know what you're talking about, and to sort of piggyback.
Oh boy! I hope they don't hear this.
I know
Natives,
what
would
you're
you like
talking
to
about,
come-
man. And to sort of piggyback on what you're saying, is like when you get in a car accident, you know, you always think about like, oh man, if I would have left my house like 2 minutes later, or if that person would have like left that stoplight that much sooner, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're all like, yeah, going through something, and it's just those moments that we're like connected by.
Yeah, and it's just crazy, like, thinking about that.
That actually makes sense. Like, have any of you seen Benjamin Button, that movie?
Yes.
I've heard of it, but never seen
So you remember that one? Okay, so you two might know. So you know that one scene
It's
where?
been a while though.
Well, you remember that one scene? Well, okay, but like you do remember that one scene where basically he was just like, okay, he describes the events of like this lady was like, or this guy was like 5 minutes late. This lady had broken up with her boyfriend, and then all of a sudden, all of this led to basically his girl getting
Shit, I
ran
don't
over by a
remember.
car.
I just remember the concept of the movie. Like
Hey, yo,
I was
let
too
me
little.
bust a float.
Huh?
Well, okay, Eddie, but you saw it though, right?
Yes.
But you remember that scene I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
I guess
Big-
I'm
same shit. You're not retarded. You just haven't seen it in a while.
I was like-
Well, you are retarded, but
Yeah, there you go.
You are retarded,
That's
but we're
better.
not saying it on this podcast. Oh wait,
Guys, I'm retarded. Aaron, would you like to say something?
no man, he's just got that beatboxing going,
Yeah,
man.
it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes these mics, man, I just get in the flow. Yo, sitting right here. These motherfuckers make me feel queer.
Hey, it's 2021.
Gay people, would you like to come up and
Dude, that joke never gets old.
Queer people.
That's a wide range, my guy.
Hey, man.
Most of my fan base has definitely dipped out by this time, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. You know?
Watch them come back. And
Like,
they're like, "What the? I don't
what
remember
did you
Aaron
say
being
about
like this."
Colored people and N-words?
What? Well, I mean, so far it hasn't gotten that bad. So far.
Dude, Corey was dropping N-bombs.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, no.
Nice to see you. Nice shoes.
Yeah.
Nice pants. I was like, Negro.
Hey, he can say that. That's the Crayola version of black in Espanol.
In Espanol.
Me suck your dick now. That just sounded like R-worded.
Where the fuck are you going? It went from Benjamin Button to "Can I suck your dick now?"
No. It went from music to ghosts to aliens to whatever the hell this is.
Right.
I think his brain cells just depleted after this
I'm off my
podcast.
tangent. No, I'm off. All right,
This is great.
All right, we got to
The aliens melted Aaron's brain.
This is live. All
Oh,
right, let's
yeah,
get serious.
this is still
Let's
live.
get serious. Let's get serious. Let's think of a sketch on the spot. All right, wait. Okay, let's talk about ghosts, but they're homosexual.
Oh, I thought you said that, but they're homeless.
Homeless ghosts.
I mean,
Homeless
looking-
ghosts. Okay.
Looking for a good time. I don't know.
I don't. I don't even know how to like fathom that information.
Ecto beer.
What?
Like ectoplasm, but it's alcohol. Panhandling. A lot of panhandlers like beer and
Yeah.
alcohol.
I don't even think he knows what ectoplasm is.
Yeah, I
Dude,
did. I'm not.
What
called,
the fuck? He doesn't. What?
Where can
What?
we go
He's
from
not
Wait
into
alien
the
talk?
paranormal.
I'm
Sheltered
not-
child. Never
I'm
mind.
not-
Sheltered.
yeah, I
Sheltered
was-
fucking
You
child.
know what?
I was at J Dub.
All right, let me turn off the live and let's talk about something that I've been wanting to talk
J-Dub,
about.
Jesus Christ.
You want to talk about real? What?
Hallelujah.
Oh, it turned off already. That's good.
What?
I gotta pee before you spill more beans. I always
Well,
have to pee.
It's just a hot topic, I feel like, and it'll be fun to talk about.
So, Aaron, I believe you had a pretty interesting topic you wanted to share
Yeah,
with
hopefully-
us.
During our pee break.
Hopefully, something crazy to blow people mind. Well, I just don't think a lot of people have investigated this, but
Get ready, folks.
I forget how I found out about this, but Robin Williams on the set of Mork and Mindy would constantly grope his co-star, a female, and would also flash her his penis. But she was quoted as saying, and I've even seen the video where she just, saw it, thought it was as like a fun thing, and she's like, "Oh, he was such a fun guy," that she just played it off. And I just think it's really interesting, especially nowadays in everyday culture, how people would find that of Robin Williams grabbing some titty whenever he fucking wanted. Because if I just randomly grabbed you guys' dick right now,
That already goes on in this house.
because this whole time I've been on I've been grabbing Corey's penis.
I haven't seen it. That goes under my
The
review.
listeners don't know
You
that.
see my penis.
I've seen your penis multiple times.
Yes, you.
But yeah, I thought
Unfortunately have.
that was pretty interesting to talk about.
Interesting.
Do you guys think Robin Williams is cool?
I mean, as far as what I've learned.
Or are people
and-
capable of change?
I mean,
I think
with
people
that
are
story,
always
With that
capable.
story, I wouldn't say that he was cool, but yeah, I liked his movies. I grew up with the movies. and stuff,
You know,
so-
it's funny that it just used as a segue that I want to talk about with music. But do you think a band is ruined when one person like that? Because we were talking about Marilyn Manson.
Yeah,
Should you stop listening to the band because the
No.
music is from the band, not Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, I do have a topic about this, and we were just talking about Lorna Shore.
Yeah, we were.
When that album dropped, I didn't hesitate to listen to it. Now, with CJ's vocals on it, his vocals are brutal. I love it.
Wait, I don't know this. What
Oh,
happened?
let's give it overview real quick before we continue.
Okay, so CJ McCreary, he was outed as a rapist, and
What?
yeah, and several women came up about it, as well as this girl said that she peed on him, which she was also underage.
Like
She,
he
she
wanted her?
peed. Wait, you said she peed on
Or
him?
As
he
a
peed
def-
on her.
as a
He
def-
peed on her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
that's a new one.
Yeah,
What's
my
up
bad.
with that?
Yeah, he peed on her.
Yeah, what's
And
with
she
this
was
peeing
underage.
thing, dude?
Yeah.
And
peeing
so-
on people?
I don't know. So when those allegations came out, they kicked him out of the band that same day. They kicked him out of the band, and they still continued. And they said they were going to try to figure out what they were going to do with the album because his vocals were on it. And then they ended up still releasing it under the label. I'm pretty sure they, time and everything. It was a release date and everything. They had to put it out.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, with how like slow record label. Like honestly, record labels are really slow about releasing content or any music at all.
Yeah,
Like,
but when it
guarantee you that album was written like a year before it came out.
Exactly. And when it came to Lorna Shore, like I was a huge fan of them. Like I still am. But that type of genre just speaks to me for some reason. Blackened deathcore with like black metal influence, and I love it. And I loved it with Tom Barber. Then they brought in CJ, and they kicked him out for that. When that album dropped, I listened to it and I love it. I still listen to it all the time. Now I don't support CJ, but I do support Lorna Shore. So it didn't really hinder my view on the band.
Right.
I still love the album. I still supported the album. Because in the end, like you said, it wasn't just that guy. There was other guys involved.
Yeah.
And the music of it is... They put so much work into it.
Yeah.
So why would you condemn the band for something?
No,
you know?
it's such a hot topic with a lot of people because they either like, oh no, this is terrible music, or they like just completely fuck the band, and it's just like, oh man, that's so terrible for the other guys involved that wouldn't have known otherwise.
Now, if if the allegations came out and the band kept the guy in the band and supported him, and it ended up being proven, then I could see somebody not supporting them because they kept that person in the band. But if they were, they did what they had to do. They kicked them out, and they have a fill-in currently. I don't know who it is, but and I still listen to the album.
Do you think like when they ask this whole peeing thing, it's changing the subject but not changing the subject, but like, do you think they like do anything sexual, or is it just like?
Yeah, it was.
Is it just like
the dominance?
It was
his
all
defense,
intentionally sexual.
Yeah,
but like, do you
sexual.
think he had sex with her first and then was just like, oh man, I
no,
gotta take
it
a
was
piss.
When it comes to his situation, he went on YouTube and came out with the video and talked about how it happened, trying to defend himself. And basically, it was text messages that she said that like, oh, I want you to do this in bed.
Okay.
But
so if she agreed to it though,
there's a lot of loopholes in it though.
oh
Dude.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's
I had
a lot
this
of things.
conversation with Eddie.
There's a lot of stuff in his YouTube video that's kind of sketchy. It kind of seems. Yeah, that's a different situation.
Aaron's on the edge of his seat.
I was gonna say I got some more tea before we get into the finish up here because I know we're trying to wrap everything up. But there's a local band here called Bear Ghost, and I just want to get your guys' take on this. It was a 4-piece.
Oh yeah, I used to practice over at the room next to them.
Great band, really amazing band. The bassist knew a girl when she was under 18. Apparently like 15, 16. They grew up together, and then he started dating her immediately when she was 18. The guitarist, who kind of looks like me actually, has a goatee. He's the brown guy in the band. He made this huge post about how he groomed her and that it was some sort of pedo situation because he was like 8 to 10 years older than her the entire time. But like I said, he knew her when she was underage, and they grew up together. And once she turned 18, they started dating, and they're like engaged now. But they kicked him out of the band because it became this drama thing on Facebook.
I don't know how to feel about that because it's like, okay,
How old is he compared to her?
If I remember right, like at least 8 years older than her.
So 8 years older, and he was like friends with her while she was 16.
Yeah, when she was underage, they were friends together. It was like family thing. Like they were family friends, and they knew each other, and they grew up together, sort of thing.
well,
Then you got the loopholes under that, like what was going on besides this family friends thing.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, once she turned 18, apparently they started dating like immediately.
I don't know. I feel like there's a certain age limit with that.
According to this guy that now isn't in the band, because the rest of the band, because that guy that was like claiming like, oh, that's pedo stuff in the band, the guy that, like I said, it looks like me. The other band, the band members.
I don't think you want to keep reiterating that, buddy.
The other band members backed the guy there. They didn't see anything wrong with it, so they ended up kicking him out. And he was trying to badmouth the band, but Bear Ghost went on without him.
See, and I can relate to this on a personal level with one of my good buddies. And I don't know if I should name drop the band. I know you did. But this band, it was recent. It's a guy here in Casa Grande that I grew up with. We went to high school together. And I was in a band with him a couple times. But he was in a band, and their vocalist was outed as some creepy stuff. And that guy ended up leaving the state.
Is his name start with a V?
Yep,
I know you're like.
And my buddy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
that band's great, and that's exactly what I'm referring to, because the music is awesome, and so many people were like, "Oh man, this is shit." This is terrible.
Actually, I mean, I'm not gonna. I might not name drop it, but I will say everyone in the scene probably knows them, and they're gonna know this story. The producer ended up dropping the vocals, the raw vocals that became a meme because it was so bad.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about that.
That was so
if anybody's
bad.
sort of involved, we all know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
But like, that's exactly what I wanted. You know, I was kind of thinking of that example because the music was great. I thought the music was phenomenal, and I hope those guys are still doing something.
They are.
Okay, good.
Yep.
I mean, okay, but
they got
the
a new
thing
name.
is that, like, okay, real quick, before we continue this, let's talk about like the one thing that happened on a national level that kind of just happened, and that kind of basically started this whole ordeal, right? As I Lay Dying. Opinions.
Yes, I have my opinion.
I know you do.
Yeah, my opinion with As I Lie Dying. All right, I grew up with that band just like a lot of people did.
Of course.
And when Tim did what he did,
Fuck you don't listen to metal.
yeah, he did something terrible, super bad. But the thing is he went to prison. He spent his time there, and I feel like if you do the time, you shouldn't be. I wouldn't say you shouldn't be punished, like have consequences outside of it. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is he did serve his time. He did right himself, and the new music with As I Lay Dying is great. And the lyrics in there, you could tell his remorse, his regret, and the stuff he went through. Even with that first single that they came out with, when Dug My Own Grave or something like that. Yeah, and it's I mean, I still like them. I still listen to As I Lay Dying. Yeah, what he did was terrible, but I feel like he paid his time for it, and I feel like he changed as a person.
Okay. Aaron?
I'm not a fan of As I Lay Dying. I never really was. But I always think people are capable of change. I do think on some levels I can sort of see what he was going through. Because if you look into the story, she was like trying to take the kids away from him. And obviously that's like his life. You know, he loves those kids with his life. So he's willing to take someone's life to get those people's life, you know. So on some like animalistic level, I can totally see that perspective. Obviously, you're not supposed to fucking do some shit like that.
No, but at the same time, you're completely correct, and at the same time, I think that it kind of makes sense because, like, honestly, the court is very biased towards the mother. Typically, it just is, and so like, what was he gonna do? He was gonna give up half his shit, and on top of that, lose the kids.
Yeah,
like, that would have destroyed him. That would have been the end of As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
Totally.
And see the thing that people really need to elaborate on or really think about is, I think the downfall, a huge downfall in the new age of like cancel culture and stuff is it seems like everybody's trying to write off everybody if they do something bad. And of course he did something terrible, but I'm saying you have to look at it as the severity of things, because him versus somebody who did something like, you know, touching underage girls or something like that. Like,
right.
That's a whole different lane. Yeah. And it's like, you know, this one person that did this one thing, they can change. this one person might be a creepy weirdo that's not going to change. That's, just a piece of shit child toucher. And it's like, you kind of have to look at it because you can't just see one bad thing that this person did and be like, oh, no, let's condemn them for life for what they did. And it's like, okay, well, this person did this. And it's like, you kind of have to look at the severity of things, is what I'm saying. And it seems like cancel culture doesn't care right now. It's like, oh, they did this, cancel them. And that's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like
I'm going to say one more thing before we wrap up. Are you crying? Look at we made Aaron cry because of how happy he is. I'm just gonna say no one understands anything about context anymore, and that
honestly,
it's like anything that you're gonna say is gonna get you in trouble. I could say I like spaghetti, and that will get people pissed off because they're not a fan of spaghetti. So
damn it, we could go on so many topics right now. But,
because you're white, and then you decided that you want it like an
it's
Italian.
it's a mama's recipe. Anyways, Aaron, I want you to pick. Shut the fuck up. I want you to pick your favorite restaurant or a place that you go to eat.
Easily, my top favorite restaurant in Arizona is a place called Taquitos.
Okay.
Which is on Alma School and Broadway. It used to be a little hole in the wall, but over the years, because we've been going there for fucking like 6 years.
Okay.
They've profited so much because the word has obviously got out because it's a really fucking delicious place. But literally everything on the menu, it's a little Mexican place, but everything on their menu is amazing.
So unfortunately, I don't think any of us ate there.
Not even me, and I'm from the valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, usually what we do is like you say a restaurant and then we rate it.
Oh.
But I mean, what would you rate it from Sloppy Joe to spaghetti?
Sloppy Joe being the worst, spaghetti being the best. Salad was like a middle, wasn't it?
Salad was like in the middle, yeah.
It'd be lasagna. It'd be the step above spaghetti.
So, okay. In my opinion, lasagna is
so a
worse
calzone
than
then.
How is lasagna worse?
Yeah,
I never was the big fan of lasagna.
Well, it's the maximum. It's ultimate spaghetti with angel hair, extra meatballs.
I just like my spaghetti.
Yeah, it's delicious.
All right. Okay,
It makes me want to get it right now after I leave here.
Actually, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's all go up there.
I used to be a vegetarian, and we still ate there. And honestly, the whole time I still thought that they probably put fat, like animal content in the beans, and I was like,
fat animal content.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, whatever. I know there's lard in this. I'm like, fuck. Even when I was vegetarian.
Lard.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fantastic podcast. A lot of music talking this time, unlike our past ones.
Yeah, no, I love
which was actually really interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting to go into like superstition and all that shit. Yeah. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to this will be our first part 3.
Yeah, this is gonna be a 3-parter.
Wow.
This is really.
I'm happy to be a part of this.
Breaking records out here.
This threesome, their first threesome.
Yeah, first threesome on the podcast.
Yeah,
we're at an hour and 38.
I'm
total.
excited to listen to this later when I'm working. Hey, future Aaron. Hope you're enjoying working.
You're gonna be, Aaron. I am enjoying. So, is there anything like you wanted to shout out or anything?
Well, I guess I wouldn't be here if I didn't talk about my own self.
Okay,
go for it. Please go check out AZ Local Show.
Yeah, guys, go
check them out.
Please do.
I do a lot of stuff on there, and thank you guys for having me. This is awesome to check out. I mean, this is some pro shit, dude. Like, I'm loving all, like, everybody has a stand. We all look fucking really good. I don't have headphones, but
yeah. Well, you don't get them.
That's my whole
No, that's the next thing. We're still trying to figure that out. Right now, only me and Jacob have headphones on, but I
haven't been offered a hand job this entire time, so I've been pretty upset about that.
Well, we know what to do for Aaron after the podcast.
All right, guys, bye.
All right, see you guys. Everyone say bye.
Bye.
You want to do a harmonizing bye?
Oh yeah.
Bye. Thanks for joining us for this lovely episode of SKUMCAST. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode, as well as like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to stay up to date with all of our content. Thank you for listening, you scumbags.